Hello everyone and welcome to another high-low game of Age of Empires. Today we clasp our hands together, raise them on high, and give a big thanks for the introduction of no fewer than 11 new maps as part of the upcoming Red Bull Wololo tournament. And it is in fact on one of these new maps, Isthmus, that we find ourselves watching the Viper playing as the Saracens in yellow take on MbL playing as the Britons in blue. Now, while the players heard their herdables explore their immediate surroundings and try to get their butts up to Castle Age ASAP, because if you notice, we started this map on Empire Wars mode, not your average random map start in Dark Age with only 3 villagers kind of thing, but a big 28 villager Feudal Age start. So we'll take a look at that in a second. We'll also take a look at the map in a second, but as always, let's take a look first and foremost at the civilizations we'll be watching today. Now, the Saracens are a civilization whose strong market can be used to gain an early to mid-game advantage over their opponents. To start with, their markets only cost 75 wood, and their commodity trading fee, the VIG that they pay for buying and selling resources, is fixed at 5%, which is significantly lower than the 30% that other civilizations have to pay when they buy and sell things early on. Now, using this economic advantage, the Saracens can field quite a hard-hitting tanky army. Their foot archers rather come with an attack bonus against buildings, which makes their Feudal Age aggression a little bit scarier than usual. Oh, MbL, not waiting for me to finish already, catching a villager out, but we'll see if the Viper decides, is able to save the villager. Now, Saracen camels come with 25% more HP. Their trebs, their mangonels, their onagers can be upgraded to increase their attack, and their unique unit is the Mameluke, a ranged melee camel unit that comes with a pretty big attack bonus against cavalry. So not perhaps something I'm expecting to see in this matchup. Now, as sometimes happens in Age of Empires, if your units are injured after a particularly nasty battle, well, then Saracen monks can be upgraded to heal automatically and passively a whole bunch of units standing nearby. MbL, let me get through my civ intros, please. As 3 Feudal Age archers make their way across the map. Now, on the water, because as we'll get into in a second with this map, there is a lot of water. Saracen galleys do attack 25% faster, and their transport ships, man oh man, did they do some steroids, because they come with twice the normal amount of HP and carry twice the amount of units. Looks like MbL getting a villager. Looks like the Viper on the other side of the map has managed to do the exact same thing. So both players already tearing into each other, which is starting to scare me a little bit, because I'm not even done one civ introduction, let alone both, and already there are shenanigans abounding. 2 dead villagers apiece. Let's take a look at the Britons, a civilization built around supporting its ranged units. Briton archery ranges work faster. Their foot archers, except for skirmishers, get extra free range in castle and in imperial. And if that's not enough range for you, all of their foot archers can be upgraded to get even more range. Now, all of this vitamin R is good news for their unique unit, the longbowman. This is a decent foot archer that comes with a massive 12 range when it's fully upgraded. Now, Briton trebs are also some of the most powerful in the game, because they can be upgraded to do blast damage and have 100% accuracy against stationary units. Now, to support their military production, Briton town centers do cost 50% less wood, which on a map like this, I'm zooming out, wood seems to be a scarcer resources than in most maps, and their shepherds work 25% faster. Where are the sheep? Probably already in the bellies of these hungry Briton farmers. Looks like the rear of the Viper's base is being attacked. So let's take a very quick look at the map that we're on as we continue with the Feudal Age shenanigans. The Viper is a minute away from Castle Age. Now, take a look at the map and answer me one question. Have you ever wondered, as you played Amazon Tunnel, what would happen if, as you push through the center of the map, fighting over those neutral, scarce resources, what would happen if a cannon galleon showed up in the middle of the forest to your left or to your right and started throwing giant cannonballs at your army? Well, the answer may lie in the Isthmus map, because this to me looks very much like Amazon Tunnel, with the exception that there is a dearth of wood here. How much actually wood is there? Less than 100,000 wood. Oh no, okay, very interesting. Why do I say very interesting? Because on any kind of map that's joint naval and land, you really have to make a decision about allocating your resources. Do you want to go primarily land, primarily navy? Do you want to first massively, build up your navy, as MbL is doing here with 2 fire galleys? Or do you want to push through the center of the map with your land-based army and then maybe kind of get a little bit of fishing done with your, get your grandpa to wake you up at 5:30 a.m. to go to the local watering hole, try to catch yourself a pike. So allocation of wood becomes important. We'll see what the players decide to do. There appears to be a gap in this wall off, which MbL is not really moving to plug. And as you saw, as I mentioned in the beginning, this is Empire Wars. Empire Wars, basically a version of Age of Empires where the action starts almost immediately. As you saw, everybody started with 28 villagers, a whole bunch of infrastructure, villagers already on the lumberjack and trade, on the farming, on the berry picking. You saw a whole bunch of herdables, one underneath the town center for free. And so with a 28 villager start, it ramps up the activity. When's the last time at the 10-minute mark of the game we already saw 30 kills, 8 of them villagers, dead Saracen villagers, 2 dead Briton villagers. And so you might be asking, why are we watching Empire Wars? I don't understand this. I don't like it. Change is bad. I'm an old man like the caster and I don't like change. Leave me alone. Well, it's because the Red Bull Wololo tournament, with a massive, I believe first place is like $45,000. It is an Empire Wars tournament, and the top 4 players are going to go, or either get to go, to a nice, amazing castle in Spain. Forget the exact name of the castle, but if you're interested, you can obviously Google Red Bull Wololo El Reinado and see what the castle is. It is absolutely stunning, hilltop. And so I believe okay, let's take a step back. I'm stuttering over myself to get excited about this tournament and its massive prize pool. Basically, Empire Wars Elos have been reset temporarily. Everyone is starting at a 0. Hera the other day streamed for like an entire day. I think like 12 or 13 hours of just practicing Empire Wars. Then TheViper did the same thing. So these are players who want to shore up their game. Ooh, is this open? No, it is not. So the knight is going to continue scouting, but not a Frankish knight, so not exactly the greatest line of sight. Doesn't really need to be, although with 10 HP might want to be careful. Yeah, MbL takes matters into his own hands and kills the knight. But as it is an Empire Wars tournament, as of July 28th is the cutoff date. The top 4 players, meaning the highest 4 Elos, get to go to the finals of the tournament. And that is why you'll see more and more Empire Wars, and I believe more and more of these new maps, which I am very excited to introduce, because there's a couple of maps here. Some of them lend themselves to very quick games, like there's one called Cliffbound, which is essentially a kind of revamped, reworked version of Socotra. So, you know, very quick games, not the easiest to wall off, although that map, I should say Cliffbound, has a lot of stone in it. And so, this villager was kind of walking in place, maybe doing some VR on a treadmill. It has a lot of stone in it, so walling off could potentially be an issue, but there are other maps like this. And again, to me, it kind of looks like a bow tie, just for this particular map's on, because they spawned left and right, but like an Amazon tunnel. You push through the center, everyone fights over the center. Maybe they'll fight over here, maybe they'll fight over here. We'll see who pushes into who first. For now, it is our Briton doing the pushing as he gets War Galley. He wants to roid up his ships, and he roid them up he does. And so a lot of exciting things happening. Now, most exciting for me is because these are brand new maps, there are no established metas. Now, obviously, you know, they're not reinventing the wheel here with these maps. We've had hybrid land and naval maps since about the game started 26 years ago. But sometimes they introduce new things, especially in terms of resources, and especially in terms of things like this dirty sand, which I'm assuming ships can go on. We'll see in a second. I didn't notice if these fire galleys that were attacking the dock here managed to go on that sand. And of course, the introduction of a pyramid, which, yeah, like I said, is it serving any kind of purpose, or is it there just to look pretty and for us to enjoy and to make that ominous boom sound when you click it? Yeah, ship can go on the shore here. And so there's no real established meta for these maps. There's obviously civilizational metas like the Saracens and the Britons and the other 43 civilizations in the game. Not too sure what this is. An adorable little butte here. This one, I know, these big ones, you can't see the units when they move behind this. I don't know what the point of this little one is, but the point for now is that our Saracen is leaving behind a whole bunch of dead bodies here. And I guess this is why there's a skeleton here. It is warning, hear ye, anyone silly enough to try to go onto the shores of the Briton homeland. I guess these are the not so white cliffs of Dover here. Oh, I also noticed, by the way, on the minimap, there's a lot of stone off to the south and to the north in the water. And by the way, MbL has seen it. What about our Briton? Our Briton has not explored the water at all, and so has not seen any of these islands. He must see this, though, this little tip, and maybe thinking, okay, there must be some shallower water I should explore. But for now, it is our Briton who has seen the extra stone. We'll see if he makes any kind of attempt to get it. How much stone is there in the immediate vicinity? Oh, goodness, not that much at all. 2 little piles to the back. And unless I'm missing something, 3 to the front. And that's it. So not exactly a lot of stone on this map, which tells me structural defense may not be the most relevant here. MbL hunting for these skirmishers, but 1 knight should be enough to shoo this away, especially with the minimum range. Will he risk getting his own knight? Yeah, he does. He gets 3 skirmishers, does MbL, and now the knight should be able to clean up the rest. I don't think they'll be able to. Ooh, there is, never mind. I was gonna say I don't think they'll be able to get any more villagers, but then he immediately picks off the 1 weak villager who now lies dead here on the farm. But with the death of that last skirmisher, the entire Saracen offensive has stalled, has ended, and now it is 2930 army count to 1392 villagers to 85. And so for those people, those viewers, players, enjoyers, and lovers of Age of Empires who don't really like the Dark Age, you know, the Dark Age is a peculiar time. It's a quiet time where you get to basically build your economy, allocate your economy, generally in the high elo games. Aside from the occasional drush, I don't really see any major kind of action in the Dark Age. And so Empire Wars allows you to skip that altogether, and that's why, again, you'll see 20 minutes into the game, we're already at 85 kills, 20 of them villagers, crossbows, knights, elite skirmishers, and yes, even some remnants of an age gone by. Some feudal age archers are out on the field. But as of yet, no castles, and so no unique units. So not exactly like Fortress, where you start the game with a castle, and so the second you hit Castle Age, you can begin training your unique unit. Empire War is definitely a very fun version of the map, of the game, I should say. Crossbows are heading north. Are they on a mission of exploration? The Viper's got his own mangonel, so now these Briton crossbows, remember, they're in Castle Age, so they come with 1 extra range, which is why even though he's just got fletching, their range is +2. And I'm assuming based on the resources of MbL, he will be clicking up to Imperial very soon. The Viper's already clicking up to Imperial. Once he does that, the range will go up by another +1, so +2 free range for these foot archers, who now get shooed away by the mangonel and the overwhelming number of elite skirmishers here. He still has his feudal age archers. Relic count is 2 to 1, and I see 2 more relics on the map, both of them on MbL's side of the map, so he might want to get those. So the usual 5 relics. I wonder what the real point of this pyramid is. Again, is it just there to anchor the center of the map, to make this map look like a propeller in the mini map, or is it something a bit more impactful? I don't think probably impactful, but definitely a fun thing to see, because anytime you have structures like this, the players tend to build around it or build near it. It kind of anchors their vision. It kind of anchors their brain. Ooh, here we go. The Viper, the first. Actually, no, never mind. MbL the first to plop down a castle, but the Vipers will go up first with 10 villagers to MbL's 3. MbL sees the castle going up. He's got to go and try to lame it. The Viper's got to go and try to lame this castle. I don't know which civilization benefits here the most or is hurt the most by the lack of wood. And by the way, God, how squishy are skirmishers. In the blink of an eye, they just melt. And now all of a sudden, once this mangonel is gone, castle's at 80%. Does he have enough crossbows to one-shot the villagers? I believe so, but now the knights are here. Rather, the knights were here, now they're dead. Castle denied. Castle up from our Briton, who in 40 seconds will join the Viper in Imperial Age. We're getting Bracer as well for those skirmishers and the castle if and when it goes up. 95, 96, yeah, it's definitely going up. Why did MbL move away? Why didn't he hold this position? I feel like there were elite skirmishers, but not that many of them. And what is he going to do to counter the elite skirmishers? What is he adding? One knight and a couple of mangonels. Okay, so not the worst counter to the elite skirmishers. Maybe to add some light cav at some point. A second castle. So MbL decides the center of the map belongs to Britannia. Not only do we rule the waves, but we rule the dunes as well, and all the spice is ours, all the gold, all the stone. Treb coming out for yellow. Trebs, plural, coming out, and there's the Warwolf upgrade. You've seen Britain players use Warwolf more and more frequently. That blast damage just allows them to absolutely rickety wreck a whole bunch of units if they're standing right next to the other. Another castle, so both players heading up to 2 castles apiece. But it is MbL who controls the center of the map. Monastery now has all 3 relics, but why is it here? Why is the monastery here? Monastery literally should be right here. Okay. Well, in any event, literally no risk of losing control of the center is MbL at the moment. The Viper. How many town centers? 1, 2, 3, 4 for him. 1, 2, 3, 4 for our Briton. Villager counts are basically identical at around 130 apiece, but the Viper's army is a third the size of our Briton army. He does have the gunpowder units out though, so this castle, I don't see any villagers repairing. Why are there? Okay, the crossbows are healing or garrisoning, I guess, inside the town center. Okay, why they're not the castle? Questions, questions, questions. And now the Trebs move forward. Will they try? As long as this BBC doesn't move, these Trebs are going to have 100% accuracy against them, but the Viper notices. He sees them unpacking. First volley, absolutely terrible. Do they have the extra range of siege engineers? Yes, they do. Oh, he doesn't need Warwolf. His Treb absolutely connecting with that blue Treb. By the way, what is this blue dot? So MbL patrolling the northern shores, the southern shores, and he's pushing in through the center. MbL is in absolute firm control of this game, and now Yeoman is going to increase the range of these crossbows, and if we see towers, add +2 to that, and the crossbows are now matured fully into arbalests. In a second, they'll have the last armor upgrade. Do they have chemistry? Yes, they do. And so now these arbalests in 3, 2, 1 are fully upgraded with 11 range. Goodness gracious. 11 range on arbalests means that even these bombard cannons, where are they? Okay, hiding behind a castle is exactly where they should be, because with 11 range, these arbalests are gonna snipe them all the live long day. Out come a few hussars though for our Saracen. Their hussar line is pristine. The only thing they're missing in their cavalry line is... Oh, he is sniping them. The only thing the Saracens missing in their cavalry line is paladins, I think, and cavaliers. In terms of the lighter cavalry, they have everything with all the stable techs, all the blacksmith techs. Okay, arbalest versus skirmisher is a interesting battle here. Adding more and more hussars is the Viper, but he's starting to run out of space. Where is he going to place some farms? I don't know that 52 villagers is necessarily enough to be able to continue massive amounts of hussar production. MbL's going up to 35 arbalests. Oh, but he's starting to lose trebs now. He is losing 800 resources. 400 of that is gold. So a whole bunch of trash. Third treb falls. The fourth will fall. That's 800 gold in exchange for what? A few hundred food? That was an absolutely atrocious trade for our Briton, who is now being pushed back slowly but surely. A third castle. Okay, so on a map bereft of stone, he is going 3 castles, and like I said, they huddle around the pyramid. I don't know if it's just a comfort, like a safety blanket for Age of Empires, or what. Ooh, Hussars are trying to raid. MbL sees it, walls it off. Okay, Siege Workshop for our Saracen has fallen. The Viper has too many villagers if he's going to go, and he's going full trash, by the way. He's going Skirmisher, Hussar. MbL needs to push out now. He needs to realize, he needs to look at the bottom right of his screen, look at the score, and realize that, hey, something's going on here. Why am I ahead 20, 15%? Actually, yeah, about 20%. I should be pushing out seriously, and that's because he has double, a second ago, triple the army count of his opponent. Oh, failing to wall it off. Excuse me. Failing to wall out the Hussars, but with 11 range, the Arbalests don't really need to move that far to kill them. Kill count, MbL's at 160, the Viper's at 130. We're half an hour into the game. We've got 300 kills. Let me know in the comments if you what you think of the Empire Wars version of the game. Whoa, that was a pretty cool little maneuver there. Those longbows, those Arbalests fanning out in a bit of a elastic band shape. Okay. Now, one thing you're going to want to do, I guess, if your opponent is going full on trash, is start hitting champions. No! No! He's going halberdier. Oh, goodness gracious. That is, number one, an expensive upgrade. Number two, I don't know that halberdiers are going to help here. If your opponent goes full on trash, you want to go full on champions. They are the trash eaters. They are the Shooter McGavin of Age of Empires. They eat skirmishers and hussars for breakfast. And against a battering ram, a siege ram that has 270 HP, your meager 6 base attack is not going to do very much. Now, it's negative armored, which means that every melee attack does a little bit more. And MbL, by the way, is falling for it. He's attacking the rams. He's attacking the rams while the skirmishers, the trash units, are absolutely gunning down his arbalest count. So yet again, MbL is trading out arbalest for trash. Now, he is getting a good number of these rams. One of his 3 castles, now 4 castles, has fallen. What's inside of you? A couple of arbalests, adding a few more arrows. But look at all the effort, all the energy, all the arrows wasted on just 1 ram. Holy moly, that took a long time. Both players surprisingly still have gold miners. MbL is up to 1,400 gold. Now is the time to make the transition to champions. You've got 9 Center Street barracks. Okay, now he's using villagers. I get it, the desire, the instinct to make pikemen, because your opponent is going hussars. But I think champions might be the better move here. In any event, we'll see at the end of the day whether or not I am correct, or whether or not MbL is correct. We'll see if we see champions. Although now that, of course, I said the word champions, we're probably not going to see them. Where are the arbalests? Now they're hiding. There's 45 arbalests with 11 range. The Viper is so confident that he's been able to distract all the arrow fire of his opponent that he's moving in to the castle firing zones with his skirmishers. Man, so many arrows. Imagine there was a statistic in Age of Empires at the end of the day of Capture Age where you can see how many arrows were fired in total, and how many javelins, let's just say how many projectiles have been fired on the whole in this game. Oh my god, the castle's at 500 HP. It's evicted its tenants. When a structure hits 20%, out go the tenants. So he is repairing it. It looks like with 5 villagers, he's getting gold underneath the very war that's happening above him. We've now got 57 arbalests. He's going iron casting as well. champions with Gambesons, like I said, is what I want to see out of our Briton, and some kind of heavier siege is what I would love to see out of our Saracen. Our Saracen, by the way, the Viper, is at 200 population. MbL is struggling to stay above 180. Why is he struggling so much? His resources? Oh, because he's got 40 fewer villagers. How interesting is that? One player engaging in a pure trash war with 144 villagers, way too many villagers. Yeah, you got to delete that by maybe 15 or 20. One engaging in higher quality units, also on the water, it seems like. And he's got too few villagers. One has too many, one has too few. MbL pops out. Doesn't have the resources, I don't think, to invest into the Onager upgrade, our Briton. Although Onager here would do significantly more damage to these skirmishers than a basic early Castle Age Mangonel. 34 skirmishers, 11 hussars, 55 arbalests, 28 halberdiers. Oh, what is happening to these guys? Okay, they took some kind of new synthetic street drug, so they're derping out. I don't know what the hell that was. Why were they spazzing out like that? Oh, why are they doing it again? Okay. Age of Empires, the game where you introduce a patch to fix one issue and 5 more pop out. But for now, he still has 55 arbalests. What's the kill count? 83 is not that great. Let's see triple digits here as MbL loses 3 castles. He's now relying on the safety of the 4th and final castle. He's trying to get some kind of work done up here. He's trying to get some kind of work done down here. There is a cannon galleon. Now, by the way, Civ bonuses aside, as I mentioned, the Saracen galley line units attack faster. Their transport ships are on steroids. It's in fact, I think, the Britons who have the better navy than the Saracens, despite those 2 bonuses that the Saracens get. I think the only thing the Britons are missing are the elite cannon galleon, whereas the Saracens don't even have shipwright, which makes their ships cheaper and train a bit faster. They also don't have the fast fire ship, which the Britons do. Not that I'm expecting to see more than this. Why did I feel like there was a fire ship on the map? Yeah, there he is. Where is he? Oh, he's still down here. Okay, MbL forgot he's got a unit here. He's now at 200 population. Every single available unit of population counts as down goes the final castle, and all of the static defense is now gone. This is what happens when you try to attack a elephant with a stick. And unlike the elephant, there is no bonus damage here. This is just a 270 massive HP unit. I don't think there is any siege. Yeah. Now, ship is an interesting one. I always forget that pikeman line units have a bonus against ships. MbL, though, he's not done. This is the line he is holding it. He has taken his toe, made a line in the sand, literally, and says, "You shall go no further," as his arbalests keep derping out. And this is the thing with archer units. By the way, you didn't even see that hussar die, did you? Because of that butte that it's behind. But as I was going to say, this is the thing with archer units. You have to micro them so carefully. The longbow especially is such a finicky unit. The last thing you want with 50 arbalests is all of them attacking one hussar. You did not need 3 separate volleys to kill those 3 hussars. Oh no, and now the Viper, I mean, he's going to discover a lot of dead space, but he's also eventually going to discover these villagers. So let's see it. Oh no. So the Viper is going to start running amok at the rear of the blue base. The blue player is sending 3 half-dead halberdiers to deal with this. Okay, I know there's action in the front, but okay, 2 more full health ones join. So as much as I feared the Reaper here for our Briton, oh, that was a sour last get there. I don't think he killed too many. I think he killed 2 villagers. Okay, so a good defense there by our Briton in blue. By the way, we're 15 minutes into this battle, and we're still at the exact same spot we've been in for half an hour. I guess I'm going to pat myself a little on the back for calling this an Amazon tunnel style map, although obviously not the biggest revelation in the world. Look at the map. It's clear to see that when there's just one avenue of attack, and that avenue of attack happens to be a giant choke point, well, then that's where you're going to have a lot of the action. Let's see how many resources are left on the map, by the way. Stone, gold, 2,000, food. Oh, wood. Look at that. Less than 20,000 wood is left on this map. So my question to you is, what is going to run out first? Oh, look at the Viper. He's got no wood. He's got a small forest here. Tiny bit of reeds over here. What will run out first? The wood for the skirmishers or the arbalests themselves? From 50, there are now 53. I mean, gold is obviously an issue. The Viper has 0 villagers on gold. This is the last... Is it? 1 second. 1780, 1794 gold. So this is 1044 and 7. Yeah, these are the last 4 patches of gold on the map. And it is MbL who's firmly mining them. So the Viper's out of gold. Luckily for him, he's got 2 relics. Although how long it'll take 2 relics to generate enough gold for more of these rams. The only thing he's got here that's gold intensive at all is rams. Looks like he's managed to secure the southern lake as well, our yellow Saracen, with a dock of his own, and now he's got firm control of the north as well. So MbL, who once had an absolute embargo, a blockade of the Viper's base to the north and the south, and was pushing through the center, has lost control of his blockade and is now the one being pushed into, and he's going skirmisher, he's going halberdier against skirmisher rather. And the skirmishers do come with a +4 attack bonus against spearman line units. So make of that what you will. But what MbL does have is gold villagers mining the good old AU. Vipers using ships to attack to the back. Fire. Ship. Not really doing too much after he got its 1 kill. Now, one thing I will say about MbL so far in this matchup is he is using the range of the arbalests fantastically. Your unit has 11 range, your opponent's unit has 8. Literally 3 tiles, this kind of distance between that range. There's absolutely no reason for MbL to risk these arbalests at all, which is why he is shelling away at these skirmishers, and they are not able to answer. But you got to be careful, you can't run back, or rather run forward. Oh my god, you can't take down a ram with spearman line units unless you're like the Burmese, and they're dipping out again. What is going on? Oh, okay, I talked a big game about MbL using the range, and then he moves right into the range of the skirmishers. I guess if you're like the Burmese or you have Woot Steel on these guys, maybe you can attack the rams. But Britain, as good as their infantry line is, and it is absolutely pristine, maybe not the best unit. Now, are you going to transition into champions? Do you have the resources for it? No, you don't. MbL's at 100 villagers. The Viper's at 126. Both players have big armies. The Viper continues to build trash to support his seemingly never-ending ram push. Another 2 pop out. But look at his gold. He's got 80 gold. Actually, both players have 80 gold. He's going to lose another mangonel. So both players losing siege and more derping out. This is a serious glitch here. If you can't control your archers, that's like what, 2/3 of the gameplay of Age of Empires is going to go down the toilet. Rams continue their destruction. They have now taken down so much. This entire area used to be full of blue infrastructure. Now it is an empty space. Arid desert has reclaimed it. Pikemen, more and more and more are moving forward. He's going up to 32 halbs. He still has 38 arbalests. But again, now he's entering into the firing range of the skirmishers, which is not great. He doesn't have a monk here healing. He doesn't have any structures to garrison them inside. Oh, but MbL is firing back. Fire has 3 kills. He's built a dock with some ships inside, some war galleys. She's going to need to take on the Viper's navy. So the players in this game, as I mentioned earlier, in my opinion, because of the scarcity of wood, have to decide which avenue they want to engage in. A little, a little bit of this, a little bit of that probably won't work on this map. And in this particular game, they both have decided land is where we want to decide how this game goes. We are an hour into this game. So far, it has just been literally from minute 3. I couldn't even get through my Civ introductions before these players were already at each other's throats with archers and skirmishers. But MbL, he's being pushed back step by step. His army is now smaller for the first time in a long time, smaller than his opponents. As we approach the 1 hour mark of the game, let's take a look at what's going on around the map. Some warships for the Viper. He's stuck in a villager. Ooh, we'll keep an eye on that villager. What are you here for? Fire galley, fire ship rather. Both players are now completely out of wood. There are no more resources on this map. 4,600 wood. All right, let's see it. So you can't even have trash wars on this kind of map for very long. No more siege for our Saracen. He is instead adding 2 monks. I wonder if he had Bamaristan, he could have placed a monk here, or rather anywhere behind his army, and they would be basically invincible. Bamaristan is an absolute ridiculous upgrade. Within 5 tiles in each direction, units are healed at 75 HP per minute. I'm going to repeat that. 75 HP per minute. Which means this 35 HP skirmisher is going to go from basically dead at 1 HP to full 35, less than half a minute. That's how powerful that is. I'm shocked that the Viper hasn't mixed in a bunch of his monks all over the place, although they would make easy pickings for these arbalests. Still, yeah, I think you have to try. And now they're fighting over wood. The gold is gone. There's 258 gold somewhere on this map. There it is. But now the most important commodity is lumber. What is the Viper building here? A lumber camp. So MbL just taking a bit too much, and look at the kill count. After an hour and 3 minutes, let's not get too specific. After over an hour of killing each other, battling each other, they literally have the exact same kill count. The Viper has killed 937, MbL has killed 941. Wow, Viper has killed about 100 more villagers than his opponent, though. Let's take a look at the economies, because this is going to be epic. 415 hussars, 489 halberdiers. This game lasted a long time, which is what I'm assuming the intention of this is. Did any player go after the stone? No. By the way, did the Viper even know the stone is there? Still doesn't know about the stone to the south. Still doesn't know about the stone to the north. I wonder if he knew about that, if he would have plopped up some more castles. Now, the Briton, for sure, MbL knew about it. We saw his fire galley down here. How many yeoman towers is this? What are we working with here? Oh my goodness, my maths. 1,400? 1,400 divided by 125. Oh goodness. Let's say 11 towers. Although the wood count actually for the towers with the latest patch has been reduced from 50 to 35. So that's actually good on a map like this where wood is very scarce. But MbL just, I think, 2 big missed opportunities. Number one, the champion switch instead of halberdiers. Champions would have absolutely wrecked this, and the Briton champion is about as pristine line as you can get without any kind of Civ features. They have access to all the upgrades. And then missed opportunity number 2 is the stone for towers. I think the towers attack on a 17 when they're fully upgraded for the Britons with yeoman. 17 attack, even when your opponent has 8 pierce armor, is going to do 9 damage to a unit that has 35 HP. And that's 4 volleys from that tower, and the skirmisher is dead. So wow, what an absolute epic bloodbath. Let's take a look at the statistics. Skirmishers, arbalest, 42 rams. This is where all the Viper's gold went, except for obviously upgrades, but all of his gold went into these rams, whereas a bit more on the water was our Briton. Wow, less than 10% difference. MbL did get an extra 1,000 in relic gold, and he is ahead in all of the resources except for food. Look at the food disparity. 20,000 difference in food. A little bit more wood, a lot more gold for our Briton. This is unfortunate. And stone basically identical. Man, oh man, what a fun map. I hope all of these new maps lend themselves, although obviously I already mentioned Cliffbound. I don't think that really lends itself to very long games, but there are a lot of good late game maps that have been introduced, and wow, I don't know what to say about this game, except for the longest time I thought it was going to end at the 35-minute mark. But no, the Viper digs in his heels, completely deforests. Oh man, don't tell Greta Thunberg, but his forests are all gone and he has not replanted anything. I hope maybe bought some carbon offsets or whatever it is that Leonardo DiCaprio pretends to buy when he jets around the world from one island destination to the other. But that doesn't matter. There's just a few remaining palm trees and reeds. And this is hilarious. The Viper just taking the rear of MbL's forests. Ultimately, the players sniping at each other, but the real battle here was in the center, the war of attrition that our Briton just not able to stop the never-ending flow of garbage out of our Saracen. Now, I always say the Saracen is a very gold-intensive. If you want to get the Saracens to full strength, and you want those counterweight siege units, you want the elite Mameluke, you want your heavy camels with their 170, or I forget if it's 170 or 175 HP. If you want to get your real heavy hitters, the bombard cannons out, you need a lot of gold. But in a choke point, trash will do it. And it is with the trash, and with the choke point and the never ending. There's your monk, by the way. Did he have Bamaristan? Let's see. One last thing that I'm going to look at. Where, oh my goodness, this thing is always so confusing to me. Now, Bamaristan is a Castle Age upgrade. So I'm looking for when yellow went up to Castle. There's yellow's Castle Age, okay. I don't see a silver crown. I don't see a silver or a gold crown here. I see a gold crown for our Briton. I see a silver crown for our Briton. So no Bamaristan here for the Viper. Now again, Bamaristan, this monk, 5 tiles this way, 5 tiles this way, and this way. Basically, all the units here would be healing up at 75 HP per minute, which is ridiculous. So as the Saracens, definitely highly recommend always getting that, especially if you're going the archer or the ranged route. But ultimately, MbL just lost too much. Castle after castle after castle, was not able to stop the ram push, which is really what won the Viper the game. The decision to go rams and the lack of any kind of champion to destroy the rams for MbL sealed his fate. And that fate was to live to fight another day after a massive hour, almost 2,000 units killed. And the kill count at the end of the day being almost identical just blows my mind how close this game was. But ultimately, it is the Viper who on this new map, Isthmus, is victorious. But GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.